Well, I threatened there was going to be a new car, and here it is. A 95 Corvette C4. This one was originally from Nevada, as you can see from the paint and clear coat damage there. Does not look the best. Has a handful of small issues and one major issue. Major issue is the transmission is bad. It's got an automatic transmission. But it's a 4L60E, which is probably the most rebuilt transmission in history. So I'm thinking I can probably get this thing running and driving fine. Seller told me that it has first gear only and reverse. So I'm going to test that out today and see exactly what it does. A handful of things I've noticed on it. I think it's been hit somewhere in the past. It was rebuilt in the late 90s, so it has a rebuilt title. I got a good deal on it, so I'm not super concerned about that. It looks pretty straight. I have not yet found where it was hit, but I have a suspicion. So a few things I noticed that it needs. This car has wider wheels in the back than the front. The front wheels are on this side, the back wheels are on the other side. So the wide wheels are on the other side. The tires that are supposed to go on the back should be 285s, but they're 255s. So you get kind of normal looking tires on this side. And then on that side, you can see the tires are quite a bit narrower than the rim. This headlight doesn't go up and down properly. This is falling off. The seats are absolutely trashed. They're like a dried out baseball glove. So I'll probably replace the seats entirely. Needs a headliner. The door seals have seen better days. There's some duct tape on there. Let's see what else. Broken taillight, I've already got one of those. The left front sits lower than the right front. So I don't know if there's a spring issue there or there's something else going on. If you can see it here, kind of straight on here. So my plan is to get the transmission fixed and get it driving, and maybe I'll drive it next summer like that. And then probably some fun engine swap or turbo on the stock engine, something like that. It's got the original engine, which has 62,000 miles on it. The car has 62,000 on it. So I think it's got a lot of potential. If you can see this, you can see how chalky the paint is where the clear coat is peeled off. But there's the spot that I've buffed a little bit. You know, that took like 3 seconds by hand. And I think that'll come back pretty well. I might do like a wipe on clear coat after I buff it, just to kind of protect it and keep it from getting like this again. It's not intended to win any prizes for beauty, but I think it's kind of cool. The dash is pretty beat up. The AC, the automatic climate control stuff doesn't work. So yeah, it's got some stuff it needs. Needs a seal for the back glass. Nice thing about these cars is pretty much everything you can take apart and just fix yourself, because it's sort of nothing real special. It's like a lot of it's just 80s, 90s GM stuff, which this shares a lot of parts with like a GM truck or car of the era. So it's not like anything is super difficult to find or get. Drivetrain is not that exotic, but would hold a lot of power if you wanted to put a turbo on it. The hood's had some damage over here in the corner. So yeah, I'm pretty excited here. I'm gonna try to take it around the block and just verify that the transmission does what the guy says it does before I start taking it apart. So here we go. Well, here you go. It's running. Engine seems to run decently well. When you go into drive, it's like getting rear-ended by a bus. She's rough. So let's see kind of what happens here. Brakes work. The guy says if you put it in one, oh boy. If you put it in one and just drive. Well, first gear seems pretty normal. Hear a sound from the right rear like something's loose. Seems to run pretty good, actually. So what he says is when it tries to shift into second, there's no second there. Is that true? Yeah, there's no second there. Now it's locked in first. So here maybe got a badly flat spotted tire. There's something else going on there too. Wheel bearing or something on the right side. I don't know what that sound is. Oh man, it's slow. Super slow. I'm not sure that is first gear. Maybe. How about coolant temp? Looks like it's sort of coming up. Looks like oil temp doesn't work. Good voltage. Looks like it. The steering wheel's not super straight. It's somewhat straight. Sounds almost like there's something dragging and hitting the U-joint in the back or something. Yeah, that's straight, which is not very straight. Definitely has some transmission stuff going on. Well, here we go. Well, there's smoke coming from either the back of the motor or the transmission. I'm not sure which. That's probably not good. This looks like it might fit. Interesting. Well, that escalated quickly. I have the LT1 out of the Corvette. And I have the 4L60E out of the Corvette. And I have nothing in there now. So we are gonna do an engine swap. Ignore everything I just said. Well, I figured out what I'm gonna put in the Corvette here. Those of you who are familiar with this kind of junk know what this is. This is a 5.3 LS based engine from a 2005 Silverado. Has a nice low 250,000 miles on it. I bought it with the transmission and transfer case, and he also gave me the front differential there. Paid $600 for the whole shebang. It also has a starter under there, fuel injectors, fuel rails, intake. The intake will not fit on the Corvette, so I have to figure something else out for that. The bell housing I'm going to use with this AR5 transmission, and I'm going to use the fab-out adapter. So the Corvette will be a 5-speed manual when I'm done. That will use an LS, like Camaro, 4th gen Camaro clutch and flywheel, which look to be pretty readily available. Now this fine greasy boy here came from a truck whose frame rusted in half, and I live in the Midwest, so you know what that's about if you're in the area. It has a handful of broken studs, 1, 2, 3 on this side, 1, and this one's broken too, so 2 on that side. So I've got to get 5 broken studs out. It's a Gen 3, so that means 24X cam trigger or crank trigger, and it does have the Gen 4 rods because the Valley Pan has the 13mm bolts. If you could see it, that'd be great, right? Yeah, so this should be interesting, I think. I'm likely to use a Megasquirt on it, or a Speeduino on it again, like I have in the past. I'm likely to add boost. It's likely to see some E85, and this should be pretty interesting. So stick around if you're into this sort of thing, or even if you're not, still stick around.